Knicks and the Pacers. Let's pick up our starting lineups from PA announcer Mike Wilczewski.
At forward at 6'7" from St. John's, number 17, Chris Mullen. At forward at 6'11" from Clemson, number 32, Dale Davis. And at center at 7'4" from Marist, number 45, Rick Spitz. The head coach for your New York Knicks is Jeff Van Gundy.
So you coming to the Knicks game with me tonight?
Yeah.
I'm excited. It should be a great game.
I'll drive.
No, I want to drive.
No, I'm going to drive.
You always drive.
No,
I'm the
driving.
man. I
driving.
should drive. I want to... Forget it. I'm taking a cab. Taxi!
Don't try to get my way.
Take me to the garden.
And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard at 6'6" from Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. At guard at 6'2" from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. At forward at 6'7" from UNLV, number 2, co-captain Larry Johnson. At forward at 6'11" from Yale, number 14, Chris Dudley. And at center at 17 from Georgetown, number 33, co-captain Patrick Ewing.
Last time the Knicks were here at Madison Square Garden, they were booed throughout the entire second half in the loss to the Atlanta Hawks. As Clyde mentioned earlier, there's a little bit of buzz tonight. Of course, the Pacers always do that. Jeff Van Gundy not concerned with the opponent, just needs a win. Of course, one of the big stories last couple of days, Jeff Van Gundy and Latrell Sprewell, who's been quoted in the papers more, saying about how he doesn't want to be the sixth man, and also some various other things in terms of his role on the team. Al Trautwig asked Jeff Van Gundy, are they on the same page?
Oh, I don't know. I never really understood. I don't think you're on the same page with every NBA player every day. I think everybody wants what's best for them, and you've got to try to convince them that sacrifice is good and necessary. And so I'm not really sure. I think as long as he does what I would like to see him do on the floor, that's all that matters. And whether we always agree on everything, I don't think that matters. I think what matters is that we understand where each other's coming from. We have an open forum to discuss it, and then I'm going to make the decisions that I think is in the best interest of the team.
And that's what Van Gundy has said all along, as Sprewell and Larry Johnson embrace. As Van Gundy has said, Clyde, as long as Sprewell's #1 goal is to win, he doesn't have a problem because disagreements are fine. They happen. But Sprewell at the same time, because of the support the Knicks franchise has given him, especially Jeff Van Gundy, he should be solidly behind anything Van Gundy says this season and more, because it was Van Gundy and the Knicks who have certainly given him his chance to
and
go back
also,
to the NBA.
by losing Mike, you don't want to rock the boat. He should be more of a team player right now and not thinking of himself.
Well, he's talked about how things he likes to do, but he has not been in a winning situation. And until he is become a winner, then he should just go by what, according to the team,
We often think of Earl Monroe when he came to the Knicks. He was willing to sacrifice his game in order to fit in with the team. So that was the type of attitude that I like.
Knicks win the opening tip. Although we'll say one thing on Sprewell's behalf, he gets the same questions asked every day, and he's tried to be media friendly instead of just saying, hey, listen, I've stated my case, I don't want to talk about it. So it's not like he brings it up every single day. He's just responding to questions.
They're trying to exploit Mullen against LJ.
Ewing hits the jumper. Patrick Ewing. Jeff Van Gundy has talked about getting his shooting percentage up. Ewing just 43% from the field, but looked fluid on that one.
A career 53% shooter. Smits was looking to help out, and that gave Ewing the opening that he needed.
Dudley is on Smits. Dudley getting another start. Quick turnaround from Rick Smits. Doesn't go. Charlie Ward the rebound.
Both teams poor offensive rebounding teams.
Ewing comes back up. Quick jumper. Patrick Ewing. 2 for 2 quickly from the field.
So the Pacers might have to make an adjustment there. Smits nowhere near him that time along the baseline.
Of course, Houston is on Miller. Jackson kicks it out to Smits. And Smits with a soft touch. Able to knock it down. 4-2 the Knicks lead.
Smits had a game-high 22 in the loss last night to the Hawks. So you can see he's very adept with his perimeter shooting at 7-4.
Houston trying to get free. Miller right with him. Reggie Miller's been doing a pretty adequate defender over the past several years. Was never known for that early in his career. Houston forces up the shot. Doesn't go. Miller on the rebound. Again, Dudley getting the start in place of Kurt Thomas. And Larry Johnson, who's bothered by back spasms, decides to give it a go. Dale Davis with the jumper. Ewing the rebound.
Davis, a guy you would want to shoot from the perimeter.
A 10-footer is pretty much out of Dale Davis's range. Still an important player. Charlie Ward flips it up. Left-handed tip from Ward on the second effort.
Dynamic effort by Ward. So he got inside with the dribble penetration and then the tenacity to get it in with the left hand.
So much talk about Patrick Ewing and his shooting, and Latrell Sprewell starting to gel, but the Knicks need Charlie Ward to play consistent basketball. He's guarding Mullen. Inside, blocked by Ewing. Johnson able to get the rejection. And you see Jackson's been able to post up Charlie Ward, so Ward guarding Chris Mullen a couple of times down the floor.
Ewing has been lethal. He's canned his first 2 opportunities.
Houston wanting to post up Miller, leans in. Allen Houston, top move, and the Knicks have jumped out to an 8-2 lead.
So Houston very persistent that time, defiant in the paint actually to can the shot.
Knicks have hit 4 of their first 6 from the field. Miller off the screen. Houston goes for the fake. Miller back out to Rick Smits. And Smits nails it.
Smits a smooth jumper, so he's canned 2 after missing his first opportunity.
Houston line up the jumper. A lot of contact there from Mullen. Doesn't go. Dudley battles for the rebound. Dale Davis able to secure.
Davis, their leading rebounder, averaging 8 per game.
Mullen trying to post up Ward. That's been the matchup so far to keep Ward off Mark Jackson. Mullen forces it up. Doesn't go. Dudley the rebound.
Mullen 6'7", Ward 6'1". Ward doing an excellent job that time.
Houston drives down, kicks it out. Ewing fall away jumper, and Patrick Ewing 3 for 3 from the field.
A lethal touch by Ewing. All of his shots have been around the 15-foot mark.
Ewing said after the Laker game he was disappointed in his performance and couldn't wait for the next game. That's obvious here in the first quarter. They go to Smits once again. Dudley trying to bang him. Smits doesn't go. Ewing the rebound.
Good now by Dudley and not creating the foul as well.
Knicks off to a good start thus far. Ward left open. Now penetrates. Johnson steps back. Mullen on him. Ewing with Dale Davis on him. Ewing into the paint. Kicks it out. Ward fakes the 3. Now puts it up. Way short. And it's Pacer ball. And finally a whistle. This is a pace with very few fouls, very few turnovers to start.
It's an offensive-oriented game, so Ward right on the elbow. Barely caught the rim.
4 minutes of uninterrupted play. That's unheard of. Especially in the lockout season. Jackson flips it up there. Dudley the rebound. Good defense from Larry Johnson.
And Ewing in there as well.
Ward trying to penetrate. Finds Ewing.
That's why Ward needs a baby jumper. He gets in the paint but can't finish.
Ewing quick move to the goal. Draws the foul. Shot rejected, but Patrick Ewing will shoot a couple.
So Ewing's doings igniting the Knicks now. 3 consecutive hoops by Ewing, this time diagonally to the paint to draw the foul.
First foul on Smits, and Larry Bird will have to watch that because Smits gets into foul trouble against Ewing often. Antonio Davis is usually the second player to guard Ewing. In fact, Antonio Davis probably guards Ewing better than Smits does. He's certainly not the offensive player. But Antonio Davis not playing with the sprained right ankle. So he's in the street clothes, as you see, talking to Jalen Rose.
Yeah, last night he turned that ankle in the second quarter against the Hawks. Did not return to the game. And like most of us, he's day-to-day.
Ewing the second. Pacers a good road team this year. They're 9-5 away from Market Square. They've been inconsistent at home. Jackson trapped. Ward puts a hand up on Mullen, and Chris Mullen nails the 3.
You gotta get a hand up. That man is lethal from there. 45% shooter. That's among the leaders.
12-7. Knicks with a 5-point lead. We've played nearly 5 minutes.
trying to feature LJ against Mullen. They have not had success with that mismatch.
Mullen a good defender in terms of hands, but not in the post against someone like Larry Johnson. Ewing steps up. Patrick Ewing hits another one. Ewing 4 for 4 from the field. He's got 10 points.
And again, Smith's looking to help out. Ewing making him pay.
This is certainly the best shooting we've seen from Patrick Ewing, who has been very inconsistent from the outside. Ewing showing good legs as well. Dale Davis makes his move, kicks it back out. Mullen on the fake, 6 on the shot clock. The runner in the lane rattles in. Chris Mullen with a pretty move.
Good creativity by Chris. So good dexterity to get in the paint about 8 feet away.
Neither team has turned the ball over yet. We've only had one personal foul. We're nearly midway through the first. Ward doesn't get it to Johnson in time and hits the three. Charlie Ward knocks down the shot. And the Knicks now lead by 8.
You like the confidence by Ward. Previously just barely grazed the rim on a three-pointer, coming back to switch this one.
Miller misfires. Mullen the offensive rebound, and he got hit by Dudley. That's Reggie Miller's first field goal attempt. And we'll have our first time out. Almost the midway point. Quarter number 1. Knicks off to an 8-point lead. Mark Jackson and the Pacers trailing the Knicks by 8. Jackson, of course, played his first 5 years with the New York Knicks in part of his career. Jeff Van Gundy was an assistant. And Jackson earlier today offered his support of Jeff Van Gundy. That was right before the opening tip. And Van Gundy, as you can see, very appreciative of the show of support from Mark Jackson. And he said some nice things as well, saying that Van Gundy's the man. Here you see our matchup between Jackson and Ward. The assist-to-turnover ratio so key. Jackson second in the league in that department behind Jason Kidd. And Charlie Ward, that's where he has struggled this year. He's turned the ball over too much.
Yep, 3 turnovers a game for Charlie while averaging 5 assists. And previously did switch a downtown shot, so the Pacers have it now.
Also like to pass along our prayers to Mark Jackson's dad, who's been ill, as Miller knocks down a 2-pointer. And certainly wish him the best. Hope he gets better. As a score now 17-11. Knick lead is 6.
Pacers allowed 91 points a game, so their defense is not as tough as it was last season.
Houston and Miller isolated. Miller bumping him. Good physical play from Miller. 4 on the shot clock. Ewing leans in trying to draw the foul. Ewing shot in and out. Mullen the rebound. Knicks, though, still overall shooting 58% here in the first quarter. Miller down out to Smits. Rick Smits short. Larry Johnson the rebound.
Both teams getting uncontested shots. Smits just misfiring that time.
Larry Bird has not been happy overall with the Pacers' play, despite them 20-9, as Ewing forces that one. Mark Jackson a rebound. He just feels that they have not played as hard every minute of every game like they did last year. And Charlie Ward accidentally bumps down Mark Jackson. Ward went to offer his hand to help Jackson up, but Jackson wanted to tie his sneakers first, and you see he acknowledges Ward's gesture.
So Mark, former Rookie of the Year with the Knicks, after being an 18th pick in the first round. This is what he likes to do, manipulate inside, so LJ should be able to contain him.
Smits lost the handle. Here comes Ward. It's one man to beat, but Miller good helping out on defense. Excellent transition deep from the Pacers. And a bad pass from Ward. He's lucky Johnson was there. Allen Houston with a 3. That's good. Allen Houston from downtown.
All the Knicks with the knack tonight, so very potent shooting by the Knicks.
Again, you see Johnson on Jackson. The switch Jeff Van Gundy made. Miller in and out. Smits the rebound. Kicks it out. Dale Davis. Back to Miller. Miller so quick on the release. And that's another 2 for Reggie Miller.
Miller running and gunning now. He's getting a good screen that time by Davis. So 2 hoops have come on the right side. Good screens by Double G.
7-point Knick lead. Just over 4 minutes remaining. It's been a lively first quarter. Houston triple team.
Not his forte posting up.
Ward wild shot. Smits the rebound. Jackson trying to push it up the floor. Knicks get back on D. Jackson kicks it out. Good defense from Larry Johnson. And here come the Knicks the other way. Houston against Miller. Fouled by Smits. Rejected out of bounds. Still Knick ball with 18 on the shot clock.
It was dramatic, but Smits did not have to knock it out of bounds. Houston had committed himself. Smits helping out. So the Knicks will retain it. Watch this play. Smits could have tapped it gently, and they might have gone back in transition. But he smacks it hard. And the Knicks will have it now along the sideline.
Latrell Sprewell comes in for the first time, as does Chris Childs. Ward and Larry Johnson sit down.
Sprewell, a crowd favorite when he comes into the game. They know the pace will increase with Sprewell's intensity.
And also Sam Perkins, the veteran, in for the first time. Perkins, 37 years old, as Mullen sits down. Kurt Thomas will come in, and Dudley will sit down.
So a battle of wits between the coaches now, trying to match up with the different players coming into the game.
Jalen Rose also in for Indiana. Sprewell shook hands with his former Golden State teammate Chris Mullen. Thomas drives against Smits, but throws it away. Mark Jackson picks it up. Only the first turnover by the Knicks.
Good intimidation by Smits. Good ball movement here. They want Smits.
Smits and Ewing again, single coverage. Smits, nice turn, and uses the glass, and it's 20-15. Knick lead is 5.
Yeah, just manipulated Ewing down about 8 feet away, so Patrick has to do better. Just a one-on-one defensive play that time by Patrick.
Jalen Rose is on Sprewell. That's a good matchup. Rose certainly has the height and athletic ability. Thomas shot, no good. Miller the rebound, but he pushed off to get it, and a loose ball foul called against Reggie Miller.
You see Thomas tentative with the shot. Previously drove inside, turned it over. This time had a shot, but it looked like he was aiming it. That's always a sign of lack of confidence.
And the crowd responds with an extra cheer. Anything Miller does wrong.
He and Houston have a good match going on.
Houston with 5, Miller with 4 thus far. Ewing has Sam Perkins on it. Perkins has become a pretty good post defender, and Patrick Ewing has found the range here in the first quarter. 5 of 7 from the field. He's got 12 points.
Ewing exuding a lot of confidence since the get-go.
Certainly the best we've seen him shooting the ball in a while, at least from the perimeter. Miller out to Jackson. Jackson for 3, way off the mark. Houston had it, lost it, and Ewing able to pick up the loose ball. Childs finding Sprewell. Fake on the 3, the pull-up. Smits altered the shot. Sprewell right there battling with Perkins. Well, the veteran throws it out to Miller. Miller driving on Houston, draws the foul. Shot doesn't go. And Reggie Miller will shoot some free throws. We'll have another timeout as Allen Houston picks up his first. 2:18 remaining. Opening quarter. Knicks a 7-point lead.
We're back at Madison Square Garden for Latrell Sprewell. The whole P.J. Carlesimo episode is not over, at least in the courtrooms just yet. As you may know, he has been suing the NBA for the money lost when he was suspended after choking his former coach, calling it racial discrimination. Well, yesterday, a judge threw out his suit, saying it was without merit, saying he should also pay the NBA's legal fees. Still, Latrell is going to push on and still go after the money.
Why not? Because, I mean, I don't know. You have $5 million taken from you. I don't think you would just drop it that easily. I mean, it's a lot of money at stake, and you know, it's been a long process, obviously, but I didn't come all this way, you know, to just let it go one day.
And Mike Breen, I'm sure a lot of people would love to see Latrell Sprewell just accept the punishment, but that's not his way with all this money involved. So he says he's going to keep going after it. Back to you.
Well, Al says he didn't want to let it go. It's his own fault that it was let go by his conduct and had to pay the consequences. Obviously, he didn't feel that the punishment fit the crime, but the courts did, and he wants to pursue it. But it's his own fault as Miller hits the first free throw.
And not an aberration for Miller, so he's among the leaders of this prowess from the line, 91%.
And Indiana is the best free throw shooting team in the NBA at 78%. There you see Miller, his overall numbers. He's the only Pacer playing over 30 minutes per game, as Larry Bird really likes to distribute the minutes. In fact, his bench gets so much time. His bench plays a lot of the fourth quarter minutes.
That's why they're the best in the East. One of the best because of their bench strength. So the depth, they have a lot of depth. The Knicks will have to contend with it tonight.
Sprewell, 8 on the shot clock. Childs trying to find Houston. Houston double team, getting underneath, finding Kurt Thomas. Thomas with the jumper. And Kurt Thomas, his first field goal. Knicks lead by 7, under 2 minutes remaining. Childs now on Jackson, more conventional on the matchups if Ward comes out of the game. Remember, Jackson really gave Ward a difficult time posting up in the playoffs last year. That's the reason for the switch. Smits is double team. Diagonal to Rose. Nice touch pass Perkins. Ewing goes for the fake. Perkins well short. And Sprewell the rebound. Sprewell pushing it up. Childs now continues. Nice feed to Thomas, and he can't finish.
Erratic play by Thomas early on, a turnover, a misfired jumper. Then he canned his last shot along the baseline and misfiring on this one.
Knicks lead is still 7 with a little over a minute remaining in the first. Jackson posting up Childs now, and an illegal defense whistled against the Knicks. The first warning. You want to clear something up from a couple of games ago, Clyde, when we talked about team rebounds and the definition of team rebounds. The only time there's a team rebound is if the shot ball is missed, obviously, and it goes out of bounds. When we said that it would have been, I said that it would have been if it hit the floor first and bounced a couple of times. That's not the case. The only time there's a team rebound is when the missed shot goes out of bounds.
Right, okay.
Just want to clear that up. Reggie Miller posting up now on Allen Houston. Miller leans in. Good defense from Houston. Played him physical. Ewing tips it right back out to Miller, and he nails the shot. So Miller now with 8 points. Knick lead is 5 with coming up on a half-minute remaining in the first quarter. Childs looking. Sprewell comes off the screen. Likes again to put it on the floor first and puts it in.
Like that composure by Spree, taking a couple of dribbles to get closer to the hoop.
I would love to see, it's almost impossible to do, see his shooting percentage when he just shoots off a pass and when he dribbles a couple of times, because it's far better off the dribble.
And also when he lets the game come to him rather than seeking points, forcing up ill-advised shot opportunities.
Shot clock winding down, and Childs grabbing a hold of Jackson. Knicks had a foul to give, so Indiana will have to take it out of bounds. First on Childs.
So that's very prudent play there. Jackson just in the act of getting ready to manipulate inside, so now the Pacers will have it along the side.
5.2 remaining. Jackson uses the screen. Thomas fouls him, and Mark Jackson will shoot 2 free throws from one prudent play to a not so smart play on that one from Kurt Thomas, and that's been his problem this year.
A habitual problem for Kurt. Look at Van Gundy, he knows it. So Kurt, you could hear the slap all the way over here when he reached inside. So
Jackson 28 feet from the basket with 2 guys around him, and you put him at the free throw line.
It's their folly, so Jackson looking to capitalize.
Jackson, as we said, second in the NBA in assist to turnover ratio. He's among the leaders in assists. As you see, he's number 5. But he's not playing a lot of fourth quarters, Clyde. Travis Best is getting the call in the fourth, and although Jackson isn't complaining publicly, he's not been pleased with it. He wants to be as the competitor out there on the floor. Childs looks up, half court at the buzzer, almost banks it in. Chris Childs, of course, has hit a couple of those. That will end the first quarter. Patrick Ewing with 12 points in the opening period, and the Knicks with a 5-point lead. When you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. I want to remind you also, another finalist for the Watch MSG and Win a Big TV sweepstakes will be announced later tonight. Stay tuned to find out if you could win a 32-inch big screen TV just for watching MSG, courtesy of the MSG Network, New York Post, and The Wiz, your ticket to entertainment. Second quarter set to begin, Madison Square Garden. Knicks leading the Pacers by 5, led by as many as 9. Jeff Van Gundy has to be pleased, certainly with the play of Patrick Ewing. 5 of 7 from the field, 12 points. Although Ewing right now on the bench as Marcus Camby makes his first appearance.
And the second unit is very potent for the Pacers, so it's not a big drop-off in their productivity when this unit is in the game.
Al Harrington is in the game, the 19-year-old from New Jersey. Smits with a turnaround over Thomas. Camby the rebound. And the only 5 minutes Sunday against the Lakers. Houston drives underneath, and Best hammers him and then goes to make sure he's okay. Best didn't need it, but it turned out harder than expected, and Allen Houston will shoot 2.
Poor communication that time by the Pacers as they were back, but no one saw Houston. Watch Allen see the lane right there. Picks up his momentum. So a good foul by Best. So Houston at the line, the Knicks' best free throw shooter.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was going to make a move, and then he said, wait a minute, there's no one there.
Yep.
And took it Best's first foul. Houston hits the first free throw. Houston has shot the ball well the last 2 games. 50% from the field. That's the key number there, because he has not shot well from the field overall, as a prior 40% in the previous 5 games.
And the season high at Phoenix was the catalyst for him. The Knicks featured him early on in that game, and he responded.
28-21, Knicks lead by 7. Best down low to Smits. Nice feed. And Rick Smits with an easy 2.
That always happens when the defense allows the guy to penetrate between two players. So once he was there, he was free to find Smith.
Houston guarded by Rose. Houston looks inside to Camby. Camby against Smits. Tough shot, forced it up, but he drew the foul. And Rick Smits picks up his second. Camby to the free throw line.
Smits inadvertently had a hand around his throat. So Smits has been doing a nice job intimidating the Knicks inside. So the Pacers not that formidable a defensive team for blocking shots, only 3 per game.
Camby just 51% from the free throw line. Dale Davis will come in. And let's see who the Smits will come out. So the two personals, Smits will sit down.
That has vexed him throughout his career. Ill-advised fouls, relegating him to the bench.
We've got a report by that Dale Davis, prior to the game in the Pacer locker room, was munching on some hot dogs.
Whoa. Sound like something from my era.
Knicks lead is 7.
Those needed hot dogs were very prevalent in the Knicks locker room before Red Hostman took over.
Best finding Harrington. Harrington spinning. Nice turnaround shot from Harrington. Doesn't fall. Davis kicks it back out. Travis Best, that's a 3. It's good. Travis Best from downtown. And the Knicks lead has been cut to 4.
Second opportunity is hurting the Knicks. We saw that with Miller. Ewing missed the rebound. Miller was able to can a jumper.
Houston leans in, finds Camby, and Camby ball deflected. Kurt Thomas the rebound. Blocked for the goaltender. Dale Davis looked like it almost was on the way up. But they'll credit 2 points to Kurt Thomas. Let's take a look.
Good aggression by Camby, and then there to block by Double D.
Rose trying to fight over a screen. Houston chasing him.
Rose 6'8", Allen 6'6".
Houston called for a reach, and that's his second foul.
And Rose not a good perimeter shooter, so again an ill-advised foul by the Knicks.
All right, who's the, of all, crazy eating habits? Anybody you remember have the worst, either somebody you played with or an opponent?
I think Chamberlain used to, I heard, he eat whole apple pies and drink 7 sodas at the halftime.
Have a full apple pie before the game. Obviously, it affected him.
Right, he only played 48 minutes.
Rose with a nice move, ball tipped and deflected out of bounds. It's going to be Nick Ball.
Good recovery by Spree, but now LJ's limping down there. Like he turned his ankle. He's had a problem with his knee. So LJ slowly coming up the court.
You mentioned Chamberlain. He has the NBA record for average minutes per game. He averaged 1 year 48.5 minutes per game. Now, that sounds like it's hard to do, which it is, but he played all the overtimes as well. Sprewell with the move. Nice move from Latrell Sprewell.
And previously on the defense, Sprewell was eluded along the baseline, recovered to deny the shot, and then this time again with good poise, spinning along the baseline.
4 for Sprewell. Knicks back up by 8. Camby trying to double team.
Knicks a little more intensity on the D now.
Sprewell goes for the steal. Rose leaning in. Back up top, Perkins. Perkins with a jumper. And Sam Perkins able to put it down.
Thomas must stay on his feet. So Perkins duped him and then got inside for the deuce.
Perkins has not shot the ball as well as he'd hoped, but still an excellent addition. Sprewell alley-oop and puts it in. Chris Childs with a pretty pass. And Sprewell didn't try to get too flashy, just made sure he scored the 2.
And again, the Pacer defense very lackluster that time.
Best drives on Childs. Good penetration. Foul. Shot won't go. But Travis Best will shoot. And we'll have another timeout. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the second. Knicks an 8-point advantage. Best with 2 free throws. Closed captioning brought to you by New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit. Knicks lead is 4 with just over 5 minutes gone by. Second quarter as they lead the Pacers 40-36. Al Harrington, as we said, the youngest player in the league, has impressed a lot of people, especially his coach, Larry Bird. And you see him working hard against Larry Johnson. And not only trying to fight the veterans, but then trying to plead with Dick Bavetta about getting fouled.
Yeah, that part he has to earn. So doing a good job there with LJ.
When the Pacers were working out during the lockout, Harrington couldn't get a place to live, so he moved in with Antonio Davis, who's married and has 2 little kids. And it went so well that he's still living with them. He's going to live with them the whole year. Antonio Davis's kids love Harrington. He's even babysat them for a little bit, and he's enjoyed things. He doesn't have to pay rent, but You talk to Antonio Davis, and he says that he started looking at his phone bill, and Harrington was making all these calls home, and he had the most expensive phone bill he ever had. So Harrington, the one thing he has to do is pay his way in terms of the phone bill and do the chores around his house. And Antonio Davis's wife makes sure that Harrington does his chores. And there's a millionaire in the NBA.
Yep.
Best hitting another free throw.
But you have to realize that it embellishes, Mike, that he's still a kid.
Yep.
He's only 19, albeit he's 6'9", 230. He gets lonely, and that's why he's on the phone.
I'm also told by people in the Pacer organization, every day he is the last person to leave practice because he just works so hard. He's a good kid and is just trying to improve his game and is soaking up everything he learns from Larry Bird and his coaching staff.
Couldn't have a better role model than Antonio Davis,
who is absolutely one of the really good guys in this league.
Tenacious work ethic on him.
And hand check foul called there on Harrington. And he'll pick up his first with 6:42 remaining here in the second.
A little lull in the action now. The crowd was very up for the game, but now the crowd is comatose. Lack of intensity in the play now.
Coming up on 6.5 remaining. Knicks have Ward back in with Sprewell, Camby, Johnson, and Ewing. Ewing had a quick start in the first half.
Good best. Good hounding on Ward, getting over the screens.
Harrington picks him up, finding Ewing. Ewing the fake. Tough jump shot. It's good. Patrick Ewing really has the stroke tonight. And the Knicks back up by 4.
Early on when the game first began, Ewing came out looking for his jumper, and he's been canning.
Ward trying to fight over a screen. Perkins. Another three. Not only say his foot was on the line, but Sam Perkins drills another.
Best creativity that time by him, breaking down the Nick D to find Sam right in front of the Pacer bench.
Johnson down low. The rookie Harrington on him. Johnson quick move, doesn't go. Dale Davis picks up the rebound.
Too quick by LJ. He had more time than he thought.
Nick lead has been cut to 2. It was 9 at one point, and now Jalen Rhodes ties the game at 42.
All right, no one denied his penetration. Rhodes got right to the free throw line and drained the jumper.
And a 20-second timeout called by Jeff Van Gundy after the Pacers go on a 9-2 run. Larry Bird's team coming alive here in the second quarter. While we have a moment, tell you about what's coming up this week. Starting with tomorrow, the Devils and the Ducks, 7:30 on Fox Sports Net New York. Also 7:30, Islanders skate against the Panthers on MSG. Thursday, Fox Sports Net New York, Nets and Hawks in Jersey at 7:30. While on MSG, the Knicks and Cavaliers here at the Garden. And on Friday, Rangers at Anaheim face off 7:30. There's plenty of action coming up this week. 5:38 remaining in the second. That Ranger game at the Garden.
The crowd very impatient. Previously, there was some boos when Van Gundy called the timeout to talk to his lethargic team. There you see Jeff trying to ignite them. So that time previously they were not on a good defensive effort as Rose got the ball in the backcourt, penetrated all the way down to the free throw line to take the shot. There you see an irate Van Gundy talking to his team.
You've seen the Pacers make their last 5 shots, not pleased with the defense. Ewing and Dale Davis. Ewing quick move and draws the foul. And usually when we say that, quick move, the quick decision, good things happen for Ewing.
All right, Davis has not had good success with Patrick in the past, so the Pacers in the penalty now, they will pay for their folly.
Dale Davis hasn't, as we mentioned earlier. Antonio Davis has played him extremely well. That's his first foul, Dale's. And obviously they're over the limit. He's Ewing his first free throw. He's now 3 for 3 from the line tonight.
A struggle from there as well as Patrick, as well as from the perimeter, but not tonight.
Ewing now with 16 points, and the Knicks as a team have hit all 10 of their free throws. They're back up 2.
You're averaging about 17 a game.
Camby trying to block Best.
Watch Best keep his dribble. Never gives up the dribble. Keeps his dribble all the time. That's what you want to do as a point guard.
Perkins, 5 on the shot clock. Going to look to post up Camby. Tries to draw the foul and does. And Camby just got suckered into that one.
Why, man? Here's a guy Sam can't get off the floor. There was nothing he could do with the ball. Excellent defense by the Knicks into the last 3 seconds. Camby leaving his feet. Perkins, a veteran, knowing how to draw the foul.
See, that's the type of decision-making that Jeff Van Gundy's talked about this year. For example, that Kurt Thomas foul on Mark Jackson way up by the 28-foot line. And a foul like that, where Perkins had really nowhere to go to it, just to throw up a desperation shot.
A wasted effort by the Knicks after good defensive play.
And that's the first missed free throw, as you saw the numbers.
So both teams now in the penalty. Perkins is one of those North Carolina guys. He knows Mike.
And a lane violation. And Perkins stepped over a little bit too quickly. Those along the free throw lane are allowed to leave as soon as the ball is released from the free throw shooter's hands, whereas the shooter has to wait until the ball hits the rim. But Perkins obviously didn't wait. As soon as he released it, he went.
And there's a reason for those rules, folks. Somewhere in the past, somebody got slick from the line, and that's why they changed it.
Yep. Ewing, quick runner in the lane, way off that time.
That's why the way he's shooting, you hate to see that type of shot from Patrick. Just take a good shot.
Rose fakes, now drives on Sprewell, steps back, good defense.
Yep, staying on his feet. That's the key to D. Stay on your feet.
Rose getting double teamed back to Perkins. Camby knocks it away. Perkins has to tip it out to Rose with 5 on the shot clock. Perkins a little slow getting up. Now Rose a 3. Doesn't go. Dale Davis the long rebound.
Ball carrying right over Ewing's head. See, when the shot was taken, he should have gotten his body into Davis. That way the ball would not have come over his head.
Rose, quick pass down to Perkins, blocked by Ewing, but a foul. And Ewing picks up his first.
And it's been those second opportunities igniting the Pacers. So we've seen a couple of hoops by Miller. When the Pacers have gotten a second opportunity, now Perkins again at the line.
Ewing and Johnson switch spots.
So here's that shot opportunity we mentioned. Watch Ewing. So you should go to the man right there, Davis. He takes a step in, and the ball caroms right over his head.
Some wet spots on the floor they're cleaning up as Perkins getting ready for the free throw. Perkins was born in Brooklyn but grew up in upstate New York, was a big Knicks fan as a kid.
Yeah, his parents got him up there to get him out of trouble. Yep, they felt that he might go the wrong way, and obviously it worked out well for Perkins. Big Jazz fan. Remember out in Seattle, he had his own radio show out there.
You don't mean Utah Jazz fan.
No, the real Jazz.
Right, yeah. Perkins hits the first last 5 years with Seattle, and the Sonics miss him. Seattle's struggling this year. It was an excellent pickup. He signed a 2-year deal. But he has hinted if the Pacers won the title, that would be it.
They got a shot this year. A lot of teams have a shot at that title.
Game tied at 44. 4 minutes remaining in the second. Johnson, quick move on Harrington, and puts it in. Johnson able to knock it down. His first field goal. Knicks back up 2.
So ring the bell. School is in for Harrington. So previously he denied LJ on that play, but this time LJ spinning off the glass.
So he's getting a lot of minutes out there once again. Rose.
Good job by Spree keeping him on the perimeter.
Rose misses. Ewing rips it down. Quick outlet Ward.
Ward can't get in the paint though. Best keeping him out of there.
Johnson again goes right at Harrington. Sprewell lines up for the shot. Off the mark. Rebound Marcus Camby. Lost it out of bounds. And it's still going to be Nick Ball as Allen Houston will check back in.
So Camby doing a good job. Perkins was there. So watch LJ posting inside. Harrington 6'9", LJ 6'7". LJ just spins right around him. And no help coming. So the Pacers have not been looking to double team on the low post.
Reggie Miller back in, and Harrington sits down after playing 9 minutes here in the second quarter.
Miller, their leading player in minutes played, over 30. The rest of the guys are only about 20 minutes per game.
And Sprewell had it knocked away and lost it out of bounds. Only the second turnover by the Knicks, and there's just 3:15 remaining in the second. Although the Pacers this year are last in the NBA in forcing turnovers. They just don't. They play good defense, but they don't come up with a lot of steals and forcing turnovers. Rose flips it up there, deflects it. Sprewell. Rose went down hard. And Sprewell ahead. Ewing and Rose ready to go at it. And Dick Bavetta gets in the way. Ewing's got to walk away. And now other players come in. Dale Davis goes at Ewing. It's gone into the first row of the crowd. This is where it can be very dangerous as the crowd gets involved. And there's going to be some penalties handed out on this one, and not just for this game. Ewing is very irate. Jeff Van Gundy trying to get away. Ewing pushing him.
Well, no Knicks left the bench, so luckily it was down on the far end, but all the other players were on the court. They were just trying to break it up. So no Pacers came off the bench to try to deny the fight. But what happened, if we can get a replay of that, what happened, Rose drove inside Ewing, harassed him, and then it seemed to me Rose inadvertently fell to the floor. So Ewing got the rebound, passed it off, and when Ewing was running up the court, Rose stuck his leg out and tripped him up. And that's when the altercation began.
Dick Bavetta got a smack in the nose, apparently. He's bleeding on the bridge of his nose right now.
Yeah, intrepid thing that he did, get in between those two guys. They were ready to go to blows.
That's why he's one of the best in the game. Did not hesitate right in the middle. Of course, the big question will be if any punches were thrown.
No punches were thrown. No punches were thrown.
It looked in that one case it might have been. Let's look at the whole thing now.
See, you in good harassment. Watch Rose fall down right there. See, he just inadvertently fell. Now watch him trip Ewing. Tripped him up. And now this is when Bavetta got hit in the nose right there. Boom, he caught a punch. And then that's when the other players came in. But these guys were on the court. So Ewing did throw some punches.
I don't know if they'll determine that a punch or just shoving off Dale Davis, but it was very close. And how many times have we said this, Clyde? The Knicks just can't walk away from these situations. Now, they're not totally at fault. Certainly, Jalen Rose started it with the trip. But the Knicks, you'd think one of these days would learn just to walk away instead of taking a chance of suspensions.
So they're showing it now. The crowd getting the same look that we saw on TV. You can hear how they're reacting to what went on. I agree, Mike. He could have walked away from that, man.
Absolutely, he's got to. And the way the Knicks have had some of their seasons end prematurely because of these type of incidents, you'd think just once they'd be able to walk away. So what's going on right now is Rose and Ewing offsetting technicals. Rose called for a punching foul, and he's been thrown out of the game.
His punch hit the ref in the nose. That's how the ref got injured.
So again, Jalen Rose has been thrown out of the game for a punching foul. Rose and Ewing each getting technical fouls. They're offsetting.
So it's hard to say who's the instigator. I thought Rose went up for the rebound and inadvertently fell down and then tripped Ewing. And that's when the altercation began.
Mike Saunders helping Dick Bavetta.
Bavetta caught his punch, Mike. That's how he got his nose like that. He got caught with a punch.
Bavetta explaining over here at the media table. They call a technical on
So here's the
Rose.
play again. Watch Rose. This is what Rose was upset with right there. He thought Ewing smacked him to the floor. Then he tripped Ewing. And watch his punch at the ref. When the ref runs in there, watch him catch a punch right there. And that's what got Rose ejected. You saw Rose didn't want to fight. When you want to fight, you will stand your ground. You saw him kept backing up and backing up, so he really didn't want to fight.
So Rose is ejected. Dick Bavetta, who, remember, he was officiating the game down in Miami when the brawl went out. If you remember that Knicks Heat game when Charlie Ward and P.J. Brown got in it, Dick Bavetta was there as well. He is, without question, one of the top officials in the game. And as you see, just getting in the middle of it, there's it looked like close to a punch from Jalen Rose there. That's the one that landed on Dick Bavetta.
Yeah, he caught his elbow. Actually, he ran into Rose's elbow.
But at this point, this is where Ewing has
he
to
should have just
away.
walked off, man. Right. There's
And
nothing going on. He can't afford to get in a fight. So why even go that far down there?
And again, turning around with Jalen Rose there. Now, there's no excuse for Rose. This is disgraceful, trying to trip up a guy. I mean, they both pushed and shoved each other there. You let the play go. Instead, he tries to trip him.
And now he starts backpedaling. So he doesn't want to fight. Watch this. See where he's going? He would be out on 7th Avenue by now if they didn't grab him.
And Ewing could have come very close to, in terms of that shove. You don't know how the NBA is going to rule on that with Dale Davis. You know, if once again, say Patrick Ewing gets suspended for a game for getting involved in that, which is certainly a possibility. And that could mean the difference between the Knicks having home court advantage in the playoffs or not. Or, Clyde, it could mean the difference between making the playoffs or missing the playoffs. Each game is so huge in this season, why would you even take a chance of missing one? And these players that talk so much about, well, they've got to stand up for themselves, that's baloney. Think of your teammates, think of your franchise, walk away and do the best thing for your team.
All right, plus it's deja vu, and you've been there before. It's cost you humiliation, and that was the one he could have easily walked away from. Yeah, you see Ewing very intently listening to the huddle, but yeah,
so the Pacer-Knick rivalry heats up here in the second quarter. Al Harrington getting his first taste of it, like a little kid in the candy store with it. And the Knick fans cheering now. Now, the only free throw that's going to be shot is a one-shot foul on a punching foul. That's the rule on that. But the technical fouls both on Rose and Ewing offset each other so they don't shoot.
So kudos for Bavetta. If he did not intervene, these guys would have gone to blows. Because Rose would have had no other alternative. He had backed up as far as he could go. So he would have had to defend himself against Ewing.
And because it was so close to the crowd, Clyde, that's where it can get so dangerous. It's downright scary when it spills out near the first row, which one that one did.
Ewing has been a magnificent Knick tonight, and then tarnishing it a bit with that altercation.
Don't forget, the Knicks and Pacers play on Sunday in Indianapolis. So Knicks lead by 3. Pacers, meanwhile, lose a key player in Jalen Rose. And the Knicks are fortunate not to lose one. Same scenario, just players don't learn. It's just, it boggles the mind, Clyde.
Yep, the bravado of the players today.
Johnson drives, and he's fouled on the pass-off. Pacers over the limit, so free throws coming up.
LJ rejuvenated now. Previously, we saw him posting Harrington inside. This time, good penetration off the dribble into the paint to draw the foul.
Foul on Dale Davis, his second. But I agree with you, Clyde. Dick Bavetta is the hero in that instance.
And like most heroes, he paid. Got it right in the nose.
Johnson misses the first free throw. Bavetta, by the way, asked us to say happy birthday to his cousin, Mary Bavetta Hanning, who just turned 100 years old this past Sunday. She's a big Knick fan. So happy birthday, Mary.
Really?
We'll say hello to
she's my idol. Mary, you're my idol. Forget about these players.
Johnson goes 1 of 2. The Knick lead is 4. 2.5 remaining in the second. And a foul on Allen Houston. And Houston has picked up his third. Knicks over the limit.
Another one that could have been eliminated by the Knicks. So both teams now playing D with their hands, not their feet, nor their heads. So ill-advised fouls by both teams.
So Miller to the free throw line. 2 for 2 so far.
Miller's just automatic from there.
He's taken, now this season, he's taken 161 free throws, and he's only missed 14. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's why they're among the leaders. He and Mullen are superb free throw shooters.
Wingate has come into the game. Knick lead has been sliced to 3. 2:28 remaining in the second. If you're just joining us, Jalen Rose was ejected. Rose and Patrick Ewing getting into an altercation that almost became ugly. Rose ejected for a punching foul. They had to be separated. The punch landed on the nose of official Dick Bavetta. 48-46, Knicks by 2. And Travis Best with a bump. More free throws coming up as Best picks up his second.
Turned into a foul-a-thon now. After the first quarter, there were very few fouls. Good offensive continuity, and now the antithesis of that, the last 3 minutes right after the altercation.
Saw Jeff Van Gundy. Of course, last year people remember with him diving on Alonzo Mourning's leg. As Ward hits the free throw, did the same thing, got right into it. Patrick Ewing to push him away. Ewing was upset, but he's got to be frustrated with his players' lack of self-control.
But the benches complimented both benches. No one came off either bench to try to get into the fray.
Well, I know the assistant coaches, that's one of their jobs, is to, as soon as something happens, to turn and stop it from happening. That's certainly with the Knicks case. There's more of danger with the Pacers because their bench was closer to the incident.
Miller normally doesn't look to post up.
Miller, quick move, puts it in. Reggie Miller, pretty move, and the Knicks lead cut to 2.
Good dexterity by Miller with the left-handed scoop.
12 from Miller. 2 minutes remaining in what has certainly been a lively first half.
And a lot of points for the Knicks right now, 50 points.
Ewing, quick turnaround, dumps it in. Patrick Ewing will take away one half. And that's another reason why you wonder why he gets involved. He's playing so well. Why would he take a chance of coming out? He's got 19.
Right.
Miller backs up. Misfires. Rebound, Dale Davis. Out to Mullen. Mullen again. The quick release on the 3. That won't go. And Ewing the rebound. Wingate looking for Sprewell. Sprewell with Mullen. Johnson sets the screen. Sprewell drives underneath. Left-handed hits the roll.
Good penetration by Spree. He figured that he could beat Mullen, and then he took the baseline.
Pacers known as one of the better defensive teams last several years, and here the Knicks have 54 points with a minute to go in the half.
Pacers averaging 94 points, but they give up 91.
Mullen wide open for 3. That's good.
Yeah, he rarely misses 2 in a row. Previously missed along the baseline, but this time straight on, switching the Nets.
8 points from Mullen. Knick lead is 3. Under a minute remaining in the opening half.
Dramatic action now.
Ewing, single coverage with Davis, trying to draw the foul. Instead backs up, way off. Rebound, Perkins.
Good D by Davis, getting a hand in his face.
Best on the drive.
Good help by LJ. You see Best comes right back out, keeping that dribble. That's the secret to getting into the paint.
Sprewell talking to Best as he tries to make his move. Best pulls up for the jumper, misfires. Charlie Ward high for the rebound. And the Knicks will hold it for the final shot with their 3-point lead.
They got 2 options. Sprewell has been hot, so has Ewing.
So Sprewell and Miller. Final seconds here of the first half. Sprewell trying to post up, leaning in, and a travel call on Latrell Sprewell. Good defense from Reggie Miller.
Yep, made him change pivot feet that time. See, Sprewell stopped his dribble, and then he tried to pivot, and that was a good call by the officials.
With 3.6 seconds remaining, so plenty of time for the Pacers to get off a shot.
What happened, he was trying to feel for Miller. Miller kept his body off of him. That's confused Sprewell.
Best running up. Travis Best doesn't get it off in time. The first half. Coming up, the Tri-State Jeep halftime report. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep dealer. Bill Daughtry at the sports desk. Al Troutwig, John Andres with first half highlights. Patrick Ewing, strong first half, 19 points, 5 rebounds. As Ewing and Jalen Rose get involved in an incident where Rose ejected for a punching foul as tempers flared here in the first half. When you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser. Those new hats are the rage.
A lot of kids here tonight, Mike. Normally this is for matinee games you see a lot of kids, but spring break, right? Spring break still in?
I guess for some schools.
Yeah.
For some people, though, spring break lasts for months. So the Knicks leading by 1 with 6:32 remaining. Patrick Ewing still looking very impressive offensively.
And now he's facing the basket. Look at Smith's looking inside, so Ewing draining the jumper.
You know, Clyde, he said after the Laker game that one of his problems was he wasn't squaring up on his jump shot and that he had to change that. He's taken, I'd say every shot he's taken at the perimeter, he's done exactly that. He's squared up. He's had a good look at the basket. Maybe 1 or 2 he's rushed, but overall, very strong in terms of balance and squaring up.
All right, those are the ones he's missed because he's been forcing them up, not squaring up. So Patrick must continue to let the game come to him.
Miller. Down to Smits. Smits against Dudley. And Rick Smits with a nice shooter's touch. He has got such a beautiful touch for a 7'4" man.
That's why you get the ball on the rim, put an arc on it, and maybe it might bounce in as it did that time.
They try and go backdoor to Houston, and Houston lays it in. Charlie Ward saw Miller take his eye off just for a second and made the nice pass.
Yeah, good ESP between he and Houston, so Allen finally gets on the books.
Jackson again posting up. Jackson spinning, flips it up, shot doesn't go. Ewing the rebound, quick outlet Houston. Houston makes his move, flips it out to Larry Johnson for the open jumper. That's too long. Dudley and Smith fight for it, and we'll have a jump ball.
So Smith 7'4", Dudley 6'11". They will jump. Dudley ejected the last game in L.A. for his shenanigans.
Throwing the ball at Shaquille O'Neal. There's no excuse for that, but there's also no excuse for what O'Neal did. The fines handed out today to a number of players. Mullen saves it to Jackson. Good play from Chris Mullen. Jackson kicks it out. Miller fakes the three. Now puts it up. Short. Ewing the rebound.
Good transition D that time, making the Pacers take that long shot.
Knicks lead by 1. 5.5 to play here in the third.
LJ looking to erupt now.
Mark Jackson on him. Jackson. Johnson flips it up. Shot it too quickly. Dale Davis the rebound.
Good swarming to the ball that time by the Pacers. 3 guys converging on LJ.
Shooting percentages for the Knicks, 52% still. And the Pacers 46. Miller, Houston got a hand on it, has to throw it away. Excellent defense from Allen Houston. 3-on-2 now for the Knicks. Ward drives, and he gets called for travel.
And again, I hate to be redundant, folks. You see, he stopped his dribble. Got to maintain your dribble. So when he stopped his dribble, there was nothing he could do with travel. So Ward's the point guard. He should know that, so the Pacers will bring it up.
Charlie Ward has been inconsistent this season. One of the areas is decision making, and has turned it over more than he's had in the past. Knicks still lead by 1. Under 5 to play in the third. Miller back out a wide open Smits. No good. Johnson the rebound. Smits rarely misses the wide open ones. Ward setting it up, and Reggie Miller just gave Houston a shot in the head. So Miller picks up the personal foul. That's his second.
Frustration starting to set in now. Miller and Houston both have been very erratic tonight, but good defensive play by both. Watch Miller. Right there, inadvertently getting the foul. He couldn't believe it.
Knicks inbound. Ward, by the way, that was only his first turnover. He's done a good job tonight. 6 assists and 1 turnover. That's certainly a ratio Jeff Van Gundy would be happy with. And Houston is fouled as Miller throws a punch in the air.
And the Pacers will pay now. They are in the penalty.
Dick Bavetta showing good self-control, letting Miller just let his emotions go out a little bit.
So Houston is asserting himself now. Watch this nice little wheeling and dealing right here to get inside to draw the foul. So Mullen the culprit.
There you see Miller. Now, a younger player, and Bavetta may have teed up a younger player, or another player who he doesn't have the respect of. Bavetta is the type of official that sees as Sprewell comes back in the game. You know, he knows what Miller's like and knows how he deals with him, so he'll let him have a little extra room. That's why he's such a good official. He's taking the bandage off that broken nose.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good. He did that to stop the bleeding. It was bleeding when he first got hit.
Knicks on a 10-2 run. They're back up by 3.
Their defense providing the offense now.
Miller off the screen. Quick shot doesn't go. Charlie Ward gets another rebound.
Watch Ward.
Sprewell just off the bench launches one way off. Dudley had it. Lost it. Ewing right there to put it back.
So that's why I always mention when you come in the game, get the feel of the ball before you put it up right off the bench. But Ewing, the recipient that time.
29 for Ewing. Knicks back up by 5. Mullen against Sprewell. Back out Jackson. Mark Jackson spins the floater in the lane. He puts it in.
Nice wheeling and dealing that time by Jackson. He likes to go left and then spin to the right with the finger roll.
And Mark Jackson, who has 6 assists, gets his first field goal. 3-point Knick lead, 3.5 to play in the third. It's been a well-played game. A good one to watch as Houston misfires. Dale Davis, with the exception of that second quarter incident between Ewing and Jalen Rose, in which Jalen Rose and Ewing had to be separated. Rose threw a punch at Ewing and was ejected. Jackson kicks it out. Dale Davis back out to Jackson. Jackson again to Smits. Rick Smits the jumper. He can't connect, and Ewing the rebound.
Smits has gone cold now.
Knicks pushing it up. They've got the 3-on-2. Sprewell on the pull-up. Aimed it, and Smits the rebound.
Dudley had him blocked out, so Spree had a good look at the hoop, couldn't finish.
Jackson looking for an open man.
See, the Pacers going east and west now. The Knicks not allowing them to get in the paint.
Smits hands it back to Miller. Miller fumbles, kicks it out. Ball deflected by Ward. And they're going to call it Knick ball. Charlie Ward with some good hands. And he forces the turnover. Tyler on the floor. 2:40 remaining in the third. Knicks with the ball and a 3-point lead. 2:40 remaining in the third. Knicks lead by 3. As we mentioned, Jalen Rose ejected for throwing a punch. One that landed on the nose of Dick Bavetta. Speaking of ejections, as Clyde mentioned, Chris Dudley ejected on Sunday in L.A. against the Lakers. And this was the reason why Shaquille O'Neal And the straddling afterwards and then shoving, that's degrading what O'Neal did. And you can't blame Dudley for being upset, but you can't respond by throwing the ball. Dudley doesn't throw the ball. Shaq gets called for a technical foul on that. And there you see the fines were handed out. Kurt Thomas getting involved with Rodman, who escapes without anything. But if Dudley doesn't throw the ball, it's a technical foul on the Lakers, and Dudley, more importantly, stays in the game when the Knicks were still in it. As again, lack of self-control hurt the team. Ewing leans in, tries to draw the foul, doesn't get it. Dudley's tip with the left hand, misses. Smith's the rebound.
Dudley should get those caroms more, bring the ball down and take it back. If you look at how often he tips the ball up there, it rarely goes in.
Knick lead is 3, just over 2 remaining in the third. Houston guarding Miller. Perkins with a 3. It's good. Sam Perkins. And it's a tie game with 2 minutes remaining. Perkins enjoying things.
Yep, no one contesting his shot.
Perkins 12 points off the bench.
Their bench is why they're one of the best teams in the East as well as the NBA.
Ewing backs in, spinning against Perkins. Bank shot doesn't go. And a loose ball foul called on Chris Dudley. 3 on Dudley. And that's the Knicks not over the limit yet.
So Ewing had misfired on his last 2 opportunities. That time the Pacers doing a good job denying him underneath.
Kurt Thomas and Childs come in. Dudley and Ward sit down.
This is the kind of game, Mike, you wonder what Ewing will have down the stretch. We've seen 3 times this season he's missed game-winning opportunities after having a prolific game like he's having right now.
Miller against Houston. Spinning underneath. Tough shot. Ewing grabs the rebound. But a foul is called. Loose ball foul against Indiana, and the Pacers are over the limit. Al Harrington commits it. So it looks like Ewing will go to the line.
Ewing very vivacious on the glass, asserting himself, so a good all-around performance by him.
Double for Ewing, 29 points, 10 boards. He's hit all 7 of his free throws. Knicks as a team, 18 for 19 from the line.
Yeah, Ewing's season high has been 31.
And Ewing well off on that one.
Yep, like that fatigue. What he has to do is know in this game it's going to come down to that last few seconds, the last few minutes, so he better get enough rest to have something down the stretch.
And misses both this time. Game tied at 70. Just under 120 remaining, third quarter. Allen Houston is guarding Jackson. Childs is on Miller. Jackson kicks it out. Perkins fakes the 3. Leans in. The floater blocked from behind, but a late whistle and a foul.
Ewing reaching over the back that time.
And Patrick Ewing picks up his second.
So good penetration by Perkins. He recently canned a 3-pointer. Ewing came out to contest it, so he drove inside to draw the foul. See the cornrows, the hair of choice now, the hairstyle of choice in the NBA this season.
Yep, Perkins with that. Perkins, a former first-round pick, as you mentioned earlier. Hakeem Olajuwon, Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan, and then Sam Perkins. That was the order in the draft back in '84. Dallas saying, why couldn't we have that 3rd pick? Houston. Knicks down by 1, under a minute to play in the third. Houston with Mark Jackson on him. Harrington looks to double team. Houston, nice spin move, puts it up and in. Allen Houston saw Mark Jackson on him and said he was going to take the shot no matter what.
You can see the determination on his face that he would not be denied.
13 for Houston. Knicks back up by a point.
So Miller looking to retaliate.
Childs defending him. Miller, quick move, quick shot, it's good.
He shoots off the wrong foot. That's how he got it off along the baseline.
Childs just threw an elbow. And Reggie Miller, and he picks up the foul. Miller was all over him trying to deny, and Childs just shoved him. 4th foul on Childs.
Miller got that from Rodman, getting right in their face, antagonizing them. Watch that. Miller doing his job to draw the foul, knowing the Knicks are vulnerable to that. They will retaliate.
Jackson back up. Perkins with another 3. Doesn't go. Rebound Sprewell. Sprewell did a good job boxing out on Harrington.
Yeah, Harrington 6'9", 3'6'5".
Even though they were far from the basket, that's something the Knicks have not done on a regular basis this year. Childs out to Sprewell.
Good D by the Pacers now, swarming to the ball.
2-second difference. Shot clock and game clock. Houston makes his drive out to Sprewell. Sprewell nearly lost it, puts it up, and in. As the shot clock expires, 2 seconds to go in the period. Miller from 3/4 court. And that's way off the mark, and that will end the third quarter. Latrell Sprewell, a tough shot. He now has 14 points. Patrick Ewing leading all scorers with 29. Miller and Childs, and you just shake your head. Why didn't he just walk away? But the Knicks have shown their inability to do that. 3 quarters complete here at the Garden. A 1-point lead over the Pacers. Its finalists in the Watch MSG and Win a Big TV sweepstakes. Albert Small from Forest Hills, New York. Albert called 212-465-6171. Before 5 p.m. tomorrow, you'll win a 32-inch big screen TV and Knicks tickets courtesy of the MSG Network, the New York Post, and the Wiz. Your ticket to entertainment. Chris Childs chatting with Dick Pavetta as the fourth quarter set to begin. Knicks leading by 1. Childs and Reggie Miller involved in some incidents late in the third. As you watch Miller hit the shot, then went to go deny the ball on Childs. Childs throwing the elbow, got called for the foul. So the two were chirping after that at each other, and this was after the third quarter ended. Childs with words to Miller. Miller goes right back at him.
Miller just having fun, just like Rodman. He's not going to get in any altercation or get thrown out of the game.
This ridiculous macho stuff. Instead of putting your team first, and a whistle away from the ball, Mark Jackson. And you're going to see the officials, and you can tell just by the way Mark Wunderlich made that call that they're going to tighten up on the calls. Here's Mike Saunders earlier bringing Patrick Ewing back. They were just going to retape Patrick Ewing back in the locker room.
No one else hardly was scoring other than Ewing, so someone must pick up the slack now. They're looking for Houston along the baseline.
Jackson is on Houston again. Houston wants to take Jackson, backs in, kicks it out to Childs. Wide open three over Smits. Doesn't go, and over the backboard out of bounds.
Yeah, good denial by Smits, extending the 7-4 frame, making Childs change the trajectory of his shot.
Ewing returns to the Knicks bench.
Childs still the best three-point shooter in the league, around 52%.
The key for that is he doesn't take that many. He only takes them when he's open. Doesn't force them. Harrington, and another whistle away from the ball. Childs called for another foul. That's his 5th.
So both teams now looking to run players along the baseline. So the big guys set the screens, and the guards are coming off those screens. We saw Jackson previously charged with a foul. This time Childs.
So Childs will sit down as Charlie Ward back in. Childs has not scored 0 for 3.
It's 5 personals.
Jackson on Houston. Ward is on Travis Best. Is Jackson and Best playing at the same time?
Best was outstanding early on in the first half.
He throws that one away, and credit good post defense from Kurt Thomas for forcing that turnover.
So first half, Best had 10 points in 12 minutes of action. So the Knicks must contain him.
Knicks with Camby, Johnson, Thomas, Sprewell, and Charlie Ward. Just over a minute gone by in the fourth. Thomas gets it across the lane, tied up. Tough shot doesn't go. Harrington the rebound.
Good leaping ability by Harrington that time.
Jackson, Harrington, Smits, Best, and Perkins out on the floor.
There's the 1-4. You see the guys going along the baseline.
Best, who has offensive game like a 2-guard as well. Smits is fouled by Thomas, and Rick Smits will shoot 2.
Yeah, you can hear this slap over here. Thomas always tries to reach in and knock the ball away. So Smits at 7-4 does a nice job of keeping the ball up above his head.
Smits has not been to the line. 14 points overall.
1 shy of this season's average.
Smits hits the first. Smits still bothered by the foot woes that he's had over the years. He wears orthotics in his sneaker. They're very thick, and he says he's frequently off balance. He says it's like walking on pillows. So he's had that problem the last several years after having surgery on his foot. It's the scar tissue that's caused a lot of the woes for him.
He's moving pretty good out there, though. As a past, when we saw him in the past, Mike, he was really laboring. Yep. Plus, he's lost some weight, so that's helped him as well.
Johnson posting up Harrington. Johnson just backing in. Here comes a double team. Johnson gets away from that, draws the foul, won't go. But Johnson will shoot 2 as Harrington picks up the personal.
Yeah, LJ, no problem manipulating inside, but he hasn't been able to finish. So this time Harrington again bailing him out by leaving his feet. Watch this, excellent defense, good defense. Now watch the double team come. He should stay down. Right there, goes up. He's just a rookie, he'll learn.
3rd foul on Harrington. Larry Johnson hits the free throw. Johnson has been excellent from the free throw line in recent weeks as he's gotten his overall average way up. Coming into the game, 17 of 19 from the line. Hits a pair here, and the Knicks are up 2.
It's been that type of game. The lead changes. So the Pacers, the Knicks have been leading most of the game. The Pacers have been trailing.
Close games are the ones the Knicks have struggled on. They're 1-4 in games decided by 3 points or less.
Good denial by Thomas against Smith.
Smith's in the high post against Thomas. 7 on the shot clock. Shoots over him and does not get the roll. Ward comes away with a rebound.
Thomas worked diligently that time to deny Smith.
Ward's done a good job on the boards. 5 rebounds tonight. Johnson, quick move against Harrington. Spins underneath, puts it up, draws the foul again, and 2 more free throws. As we have another foul call, this one against Rick Smith, his 3rd.
So LJ creating havoc now off the dribble. Previously underneath the right side, this time diagonally to the paint from the left. So normally with the double team, LJ likes to go along the baseline, but now coming into the paint.
So we'll have our timeout. Just over 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. Knicks lead by 2. 41-year-old Herb Williams looking on as the Knicks lead the Pacers by 2. Just over 2 minutes gone by in the 4th. Herb now in his 18th year in the league, and he is the subject of our Co-Classic Play of the Day. We'll bring you back to March 17th, 1986. Member of the Indiana Pacers at Market Square Arena. Herb Williams taking it to the New York Knicks. Herb, who did a lot of scoring early in his career. Highest average one time, 19.9 per game. Well, this was his best all time. 40 points for Herb Williams. Patrick Ewing didn't play that game. Had a knee injury at the time. And Herb Williams, our Classic Play of the Day. Some pretty impressive numbers from a very impressive man.
Yep, well respected by all the Knicks while he's still on the team.
Now his 7th year with the Knicks.
Good influence in the locker room.
Scolding somebody right there, it looks like.
Wingate.
Johnson hits another free throw.
So LJ now starting to percolate. Getting tangible results off his penetration, getting to the line.
Johnson, good concentration on the free throws, and the Knicks with a 4-point lead. This game has been close. Knicks led by 9 in the first half, but in the second half, the largest lead by either team is 5. Best, nice fake, blocked from behind, but it still goes in.
Camby blocked it, but to no avail.
Ward comes up the other way. The Knicks lead is 2. Knicks certainly need this win, not only just for record's sake, but for confidence sake against the better teams in the NBA. They've struggled. Certainly need to keep their home court dominance. Johnson, couple of fakes, and he's called for a travel, and he knew it.
Too many times going to the well for LJ. Previous 2 times he had success drawing a foul, but this time he turns it over, so the Pacers will bring it up.
That's only the 7th Knick turnover.
Yep, this season low has been 10.
2-point Knick lead, nearly 3 minutes gone by. Best kicks it out, Harrington. Harrington underneath. Nice move from the rookie, and the game tied at 78. That's his first field goal.
Look, getting some quality time now is Harrington.
Larry Bird has done that quite a bit recently. Sprewell has Miller on him. Sprewell leans in. Offensive foul on Latrell Sprewell.
Miller, a native of California, so he knows how to act. A good acting job that time by Reggie.
7 of 15 from 3-point range. They've scored 7 in a row.
Best did not play the 3rd quarter. Had 10 at the half in only 12 minutes. Now has 5 here in the last 3 minutes.
And he's tied for the team lead with 15. He's only played 15 minutes. Ewing against Davis. Spins the other way from the double team and knocks it down. Patrick Ewing now has equaled his season high with 31.
Vintage play tonight by Ewing. So very calm and composed.
Chance of defense from the Garden crowd as the Knicks trail by 1. Miller down the lane, kicks it out. Perkins steps back. Johnson goes for the fake. Perkins misses. Ewing had it, lost it. Harrington picks it up, drives in, and an offensive foul. Charlie Ward took a hard charge.
Very intrepid play by Ward denying Harrington. So Harrington should have taken the baby jumper. Was only 8 feet away.
4th foul on Harrington. Larry Bird, though, loved the rookie's energy.
See, he never saw who was guarding him. If he saw it was Ward, he should not have put it down right away. He used his body to work him inside.
Or just simply shoot over him.
Right, the first thing he did was start his dribble.
Ward, the floater in the lane, doesn't go. Best the rebound.
That's very elusive in transition.
Ward knocks it away and comes up with a steal. It puts the Knicks racing the other way.
Relentless pursuit by Ward.
Ward now down low to Ewing. Ewing the head fake and lays it in. Charlie Ward's steal gives the Knicks a 1-point lead.
Two superb plays by Ward. Previously drawing the foul. This time hell bent to come up with the steal to find Ewing underneath.
That's his fourth steal of the game. Perkins backs up. That's a three. Misses. And Sprewell got pushed by Harrington.
He might be gone.
That's his fifth. So Charlie Ward igniting the Knicks.
So watch Best. Did not sense Ward back there. So Ward making a steal and coming down. Watch him get composed right here. Faking the shot. So Ewing was able to get inside.
Ward playing a strong game tonight. 7 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and only 1 turnover. Knicks back up by 1. Just over 5 minutes gone by in the fourth. Houston looking for Johnson. Johnson's got Dale Davis.
Going to be tough. Davis 6'11", a good shot blocker.
And there it is.
Yep, he was waiting for him to fade away.
Dale Davis smacks it back. And the Knicks 1-point lead with the Pacers on the ball.
LJ has to use his quickness against Davis. Face up to him and beat him off the dribble.
Perkins now going to post up Johnson down the other end. Perkins at 6'9".
He has a hook shot.
Uses it, draws the foul on Johnson. That's going to be his second. And we'll have another timeout on the floor. Sam Perkins will shoot 2. Knicks lead by 1. Just under 6.5 remaining in the fourth. Nightmare continues for the New Jersey Nets. Cleveland, the team that lost tonight at home to Toronto. They're next up for the Knicks. On Thursday, we'll have it for you on MSG. MCS Cannon Knicks game night kicks off at 7. And tip-off shortly after 7:35. Our Toyota matchup, Patrick Ewing and Rick Smits. And Ewing certainly getting the better. Ewing with one of his stronger games, if not the best of the season for him.
Yep. He's got his number, 33.
Although down in Miami, Ewing had a great game, but what everyone remembers, and certainly rightfully so, the final shot that did not go in.
That would be the scenario tonight if it happens.
Certainly could be, as Perkins has tied it up now. And you look right now who's on the floor for the Indiana Pacers. Harrington, Perkins, and Best. 3 members of the bench along with Miller and Dale Davis.
Not an aberration for this team. That's the usual norm for them because these players, we mentioned, Mike, you mentioned that Best is always in there in the fourth quarter in place of Jackson.
And as we said, Jackson's not happy about it. He's been the good soldier, but you know that it's not something he wants.
It's the quickness that Best brings to the game. He can break down defenses.
6 on the shot clock. Sprewell with Harrington on him. Makes his move, spinning, and he's called for travel.
It's his second of the game. Just discombobulated on the play. Harrington doing an excellent job that time on the D.
Jeff Van Gundy likes his aggressiveness, but wants him to play with a little more discipline.
What's happening now, the Knicks in a half-court game, Sprewell does not excel in the half-court game. More of a transitional player.
Ward trying to guard Best. Johnson goes away from the double team. Best comes right back up. Now makes the penetration underneath, flips it inside. Dale Davis, and an easy 2. Travis Best, excellent play inside.
And that's why he's in the game, because of his creativity. Second time he's found double D with the good stuff.
Knicks are down 3 with 5.5 to play in the fourth. These are the type of the games this season the Knicks have lost.
Now this is where they need the prowess of Ewing.
Ewing and Perkins. There's the double team. Ewing kicks it out to Houston. Houston with the jumper. That's good. Allen Houston now with 15. The Knicks within 1.
That time Allen had his toe on the line. From the corner there, folks, it's only a 22-foot shot. But as the line curves around, it becomes 23-9.
Ewing with a smart pass that time, not trying to force it. Miller fakes the 3, then puts it up. Doesn't go. Rebound. Johnson and Sprewell knocked it out of each other's hands.
Yep, they did not communicate.
So a new 24 for Indiana.
That's why if you block out, you will know who's behind you.
Houston got caught off the screen. Miller a 3. And Reggie Miller's hit so many big shots from that spot, including last year's playoffs. That game 5 to force the overtime.
And those second opportunities igniting the Pacers.
Ewing with the Knicks down by 4. 4.5 remaining.
Usually got in the paint to find Houston.
And there's the hard foul on Ewing. He'll go back to the free throw line for some very important free throws.
Yeah, he missed his last 2 from the line. So this is when Ewing must contain his consistency. So he becomes very erratic right about now.
Perkins' first foul. Ewing's overall numbers terrific. 2 block shots to that. He's now 8 of 10 from the free throw line.
Amazing grace tonight with Patrick Ewing. Very composed, letting the game come to him, squaring up on his shot.
Season high 34. Only the third time this season a Knick have hit the 30-point mark. Ewing twice and Sprewell once.
Yeah. Last year LJ had 35. That was the highest for Knick.
Knicks down by 2. Just under 4.5 remaining. Here in the fourth.
They're looking for Miller again.
Miller again. Another three. Short. Charlie Ward. Another rebound. Ahead now to Houston. Houston drives underneath. Kicks it out to Ward. Ward with a three. Short. Rebound. Perkins knocks it off the backboard, and Best comes the other way. Miller down low to Dale Davis, and he's fouled. Ewing picks up his third, but that's not a bad foul because Dale Davis is a poor free throw shooter.
So that time a good transition by the Pacers. Best to Miller. So Double D was the trailer that time on the left side.
Both teams with plenty of timeouts remaining. And on the next Knick foul, both teams will be in the penalty. Dale Davis from the free throw line, 1 of 2. As we said, he barely shoots over 50%.
Previously made his first one and missed the second.
And does so there. Of course, coming up tonight after our post-game report, National Finance Sports Desk, Marv will go over all the NBA action, including the Nets loss in Orlando. The Chris Mullen feature. And Frank Isola of the Daily News will be in studio.
So normally when you make the first one, it's almost assured you make the second one because it's a thing of confidence. But not so with this man.
Davis this time hits a pair. So Dale Davis gives the Pacers a 4-point lead, just under 4 to play.
So the Knicks like to feature Ewing now, but they've got to get other people involved as well.
Ball taken away. Travis Best just took it out of Charlie Ward's hands.
He stopped his dribble. He was encumbered by the sideline, too close to the sideline.
And Ward, who's played well throughout the night, with a costly turnover.
Best looking to break him down now.
Best leans in. Nice feed to Dale Davis, and he's fouled again, as Ward has had a difficult time defending Best.
So Best shaking him to get inside and then drawing the double team. So watch Ward, too close to the sideline, picks up his dribble. See him close to the sideline. That's his first mistake. The second one, picking up the dribble. Right there. Best just takes it away and then comes down to get inside to create havoc for the Knicks.
So Dale Davis back to the line again. This is the first. Knicks down 4 with 3:29 remaining, and Jeff Van Gundy now wants to talk it over. So timeout, a full timeout. Knicks trying to win a close game in a tough battle with the Pacers. Knicks down 4, 3:29 remaining. Dale Davis has one more free throw coming up. Reggie Miller, of course, hitting a big three, helping the Pacers here in the fourth. Miller now with 17 points. He's been one of the all-time Knick killers, and this one certainly hurt, Clyde.
Yeah, Miller averaging 18 a game, running behind the line. As Mike mentioned, he's made a living right there on the Knicks.
And one of those was Game 4 last season. Knicks were in control, looked like, after Rick Smits will miss this one. Knicks were up 3 in the final seconds. They were down 2-1 in the series, but Miller with this huge three-pointer, that tied it. And in overtime, the Pacers blew away the Knicks, went up 3-1 in the series, and obviously won in Game 5. Miller has loved to play here at Madison Square Garden. Remember the 25 points in the fourth quarter one night?
Yeah, that catapulted him to superstardom against the Knicks. And he relishes coming in here to play as well.
So Dale Davis, another free throw. Every free throw important right now.
Previously, Dale made 2, missed his first one, trying to redeem himself now.
Second one is good. Knicks down by 5. Jeff Van Gundy said earlier today, we've been just good enough to lose in all these close games. He's wondered all season when the big plays are going to come, a big shot or a big stop. Knicks need them here tonight. They trail by 5. Johnson wide open, hesitated, had the shot, did not take it.
Yep, he was only 10 feet away.
Trying to spin, left-handed, flips it up, does not get the roll. Ewing's tip no good. Second tip is good.
Good perseverance by Ewing. The Pacers want goaltending. They said Ewing was above the cylinder.
It was close, but I don't think that one was goaltending. Knicks down by 3.
This is the man that's bedeviled them.
Travis Best, they isolate him with Ward. Miller goes to set a screen.
Watch his dexterity with the ball.
Now Ward on Miller, another shot. It's good. That's a 2 from Miller.
The mismatch, Miller 6'8", Ward 6'1".
93-88. Knicks down 5 with 2.5 remaining. Knicks have not been able to get stops in recent possessions by the Pacers. And there's a foul call on Reggie Miller. And the Pacers over the limit.
Yeah, Miller too zealous getting over the screen. So watch they got the mismatch that they wanted, the switch that time by Houston and Ward. So that's why Houston does not want to switch. Stay with Miller.
So big free throws from Allen Houston.
Previously good tip in by Ewing, and this time setting a good screen on Allen to draw the foul against Miller. Both teams feasting from the line.
So Sprewell and Ward getting some instructions.
Defensive strategy, telling them not to switch, I'm sure.
Houston hits both. Knicks are down 3 with 2:28 remaining here in the fourth. Knicks need some stops and a chance of defense once again. Same spot for Travis Best against Ward. Miller again sets the screen.
And they switch again.
Miller looking to post up. Pass to Best. 6 on the shot clock. Perkins fakes. Now drives down the lane. Runs at Ewing. No good. Rebound tip. Knocked away by Sprewell, and Ewing picks it up. Big play from Sprewell as Harrington would have had it.
And also Ewing, good antagonism against the penetrator.
Johnson against Perkins. Johnson makes his move. Here comes the double team. Out to Sprewell. That's a 3. Off the mark. Harrington the rebound. And a big groan from the crowd.
Yes, he had a good look at it that time. Could not get it down.
Knicks down by 3. Just over a minute and a half remaining. Once again, they'll need to make a defensive play.
They have the 1-4 offense. Players along the baseline. No fouls to give for either team.
Miller picked up now by Ewing. Miller, tough fall-away shot. No good. Sprewell rips down the rebound. Here he comes the other way. Sprewell drives against Miller. He puts it in. Beautiful finger roll, and the Knicks are down 1.
Sprewell in his element in the transition game. So he's got 2 big rebounds. So this time hell-bent down the paint area, eluding Miller and getting in the finger roll.
1:20 remaining, fourth quarter at Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks have pulled within 1. Pacers lead it 93-92. Indiana with the basketball right now, as the Knicks make some stops on one end and big plays at the other.
Also good aptitude by the Knicks. This is a play that previously the mismatch, Miller scored on him, but watch the Knicks double team this time. Make him give up the ball. You see them man-to-man. Perkins gets penetration. Watch Ewing coming to harass him. Sprewell coming up with the carry.
And Sprewell just tipped it to Ewing, a smart play.
Miller forcing up a shot. Sprewell with the bound. So this is where he excels in the transition game. This time wheeling and dealing against Miller.
And he pulls the Knicks within 1, but the Pacers still have the lead with 1:20 remaining. Again, both teams in the penalty. As we'll take a look at our MCS Cannon game summary. As we head into crunch time, another close one where the Knicks have failed to pull them out. The shooting percentage is close. Knicks excellent from the free throw line. All the lead changes. Patrick Ewing a season-high 37. And the sellout crowd, 280th consecutive sellout on their feet during much of that timeout.
Yeah, trying to inspire their heroes now. The crowd really into the game. The Knicks, the best defense in the league against field goal percentage. They will need it now.
Knicks have Ward, Sprewell, Houston, Ewing, and Johnson. Miller out to Smits. Smits drives into Ewing. A lot of contact. Puts it up. Shot no good. The tip misses. Tipped out. Sprewell has it again, and he gets fouled. And Sprewell will shoot free throws with 1:01 remaining.
So the Knicks got a break. Smits penetrates. Ewing falls down. Smits misses the shot. Double D tipped it. It rolled around the rim, and then the Pacers charged with the foul. Watch this action here. Ewing looking for the charging foul. Smits 6 feet away. Could not finish. Double D there. He couldn't get it down. So Sprewell again coming up with a big play.
2 point-blank tips. But right now, Sprewell with huge free throws. He's 2 for 2 from the line tonight. 16 points.
He has been brilliant down the stretch.
And it's the first to tie the game. Dudley coming in for Larry Johnson. Jeff Van Gundy going with offense-defense substitutions. Sprewell is a good free throw shooter for his career, 79%.
He likes to fall in once he shoots them, though. He doesn't stay on the line. So there you see his prowess tonight. So Sprewell erupting in a nick of time.
Still plenty of time. Minute 1. And Latrell Sprewell, 2 clutch free throws. Knicks back up by 1. Knicks have scored 6 straight points over the last minute and a half.
It's Miller time.
Miller gets by Houston. Lost the ball. Picked up by Sprewell. Miller furious. He felt he was fouled. Sprewell brings it into the front court. Harrington all over him. And the Knicks will call timeout. Knicks coming up with huge plays at both ends of the court, led by Latrell Sprewell.
And Miller got penetration along the baseline. He coughed it up. So again, the Knicks will have it.
39.4 remaining. Knicks with a 1-point lead, 39.4 seconds remaining. Knicks have the ball in their front court with 14 on the shot clock. Want to remind you to join the Knicks on the road when they visit the Philadelphia 76ers on Monday, April 19th. The Brotherly Love Express includes round-trip bus transportation, pre-game party, and tickets to the game. For more information about the Brotherly Love Express, call the Knicks toll-free fan line, 877-NYK-DUNK.
So Miller, trying to beat a hero in this one, has put up an ill-advised shot before this play. This time looking to get penetration, inadvertently loses the handle. Who was there? Sprewell. He's been ubiquitous down the stretch.
Ward, Sprewell, Houston, Johnson, and Ewing out on the floor. 14 left on the shot clock. Knicks with just 1 timeout remaining. Charlie Ward sets it up. Travis Best guarding him. They go to Ewing. Ewing and Smits. Single coverage. Ewing flips it up there. Lost the handle. And Dale Davis the rebound. Ewing thought Smits was going to be on his back. Smits backed away, and Ewing lost the ball. Could be a costly turnover. There's a 2-second difference between the game and shot clock.
They want Miller. They want Miller.
Miller fakes. Sprewell goes for it. Miller leads in. Short. Rebound Smits. Smits now back out to Best. Best pulls up for the jumper. No good. Harrington the tip. It misses. Rebound knocked loose and the game is over. A wild finish as the Knicks come up with perhaps their biggest win of the season.
A game that could make or break the Knicks. They were in dire need of a big victory. Ewing again down the stretch. A costly blunder. But then the Pacers had 3-4 opportunities they could not finish.
Indiana had their chances, but the Knicks prevail as they outscore the Indiana Pacers 6-0 over the last 2.5 minutes.
And Ewing breathing a sigh of relief.
A season-high 37 for Patrick Ewing.
Would have been all for naught if he would have been the culprit again, because he had a big shot, stumbled underneath, could not get it down, and then the Pacers, they wanted Miller. Mike, what Miller should have done, he faked Sprewell. Sprewell was in the air. He should have leaped into him to draw the foul. But he went for the jumper. Watch this sequence, folks.
Again, Best setting it up. They're just trying to run. You see Miller off several screens. Sprewell fights through. Does a good job initially.
This capacity crowd on their feet. Right here, he should have jumped into him to draw the foul, but he went for the jumper.
Smits kicks it out nicely. Best with a wide open shot.
Harrington, a good look at it. Could not get it down.
Just couldn't get the one-handed tip to go.
That's why he should have used the glass on that.
Look at Allen Houston, though. Good job of contesting the shot on Travis Best. And Harrington was right there, just couldn't put it down. And Ewing able to tip it to Johnson to end the game.
No one happier right at this moment than Patrick Ewing. A brilliant performance by him.
And the Knicks also, one of the keys down the stretch is Miller, who has really broken the Knicks' heart so often, unable to get it to go down.
Best had killed him down the stretch, and Harrington had distinguished himself in the game, but neither could do it when the game was hanging in the balance.
And here's the Pacer bench watching, as the Pacers have been involved in a number of close games. Mark Jackson watching from the fourth quarter once again.
Last night they were in a close game. They lost to the Hawks by 1 point.
Had a chance to win it at the buzzer, and Miller couldn't get a shot off. And a disappointment for the Indiana Pacers, and certainly the opposite for the Knicks. And you'd have to say this is the biggest victory of the season, because, Clyde, not only is it against a quality team, one of the best teams, but it was a close game that the Knicks had to make plays down the stretch, and they finally did.
Right, Harrington overwhelmed. But he's only 19, folks. He shall return.
Knicks also shoot 10 for 10 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. And Latrell Sprewell makes huge plays at both ends of the floor down the stretch. Final score, the Knicks 94, the Pacers 93. Plenty more to come when we return.